contains life-saving medications like ivermectin, Z-Pak, and antibiotics. Stock them before they block them.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
I'm going to bring on one of the smartest guys I know, Brenden Reilly. Why isn't that coming up? There we go. How you doing, Brenden?
I'm one of the smartest guys, you know.
Yeah.
Thanks for the compliment.
So you don't have to do it right now, but at some point I want to know what quantum entanglement is and make it make sense for me. So anyway, what's happening in the AI world, my friend?
Yeah, a lot. It's always happening. The progress that's being made in AI, the integration of AI into everyday, human life, business life, as well as the global competition of AI and quantum computing that's going on is amazing. The race is on, and I sent you a clip that I'd love you to play of where this administration understands that winning that AI and quantum race is everything right now.
Here we go. We'll play this from Secretary of Treasury Besson.
Have to win in AI and quantum. That if the United States doesn't take the lead, if we don't win, everything else doesn't matter. That if we lose the edge there, and I think China's catching up, which is natural, but I think we will maintain our leadership on that. And again, what we're trying to do is not pick winners and losers. We're just trying to set the environment for the best opportunity for our entrepreneurs to succeed, stop intellectual property theft, and in terms of making it accessible to all Americans, I think that's going to be very important.
So very important. It seems that way because the capabilities that I'm hearing this stuff can do is sci-fi off the charts.
It's getting there. The progress when we talked earlier, I said, new models are coming out 2 to 3 or 4 times a year, and they're exponentially improved on the previous model. Now chips, NVIDIA and others are making chips that are so much more advanced and improving that, multiple times in 1 year. That real advancements on how to network NVIDIA and GPUs together to get much more compute capabilities. There's, NVL72, which is a racking system that allows the GPUs to work more coherently and together. And then you now have, the data center race is completely on. I think what Elon built his first data center with 100,000 GPUs. It's now at 300,000, going to 1 million. And then, over the next year or two, you'll see data centers with millions of GPUs networked together. And what that's doing is making the ability of a single AI, OpenAI, right, or others, Grok, Gemini, to basically be able to have massive compute capabilities and understanding and learning at exponential levels, so that we've gone from this, AI being LLMs that figure out what the next best word to use is, which is, what we were all introduced to now these models that do reasoning, right? They understand and they reason. They're incredible. To agentic AI, which is agents now that not only reason but can take actions. Forrester in their 2025 report said that's every boardroom in America is talking about how to implement this agentic AI, right? Again, it was, how does AI improve and help an employee do their job better? Now it's, all these agents can now take over a lot of the functions and move things faster. So you're just seeing this massive wave. And then I know you wanted to talk about Sam Altman and OpenAI and what's going on there.
Yeah, let's do that. But first, I want to ask you: these data centers, you're seeing them pop up. I mean, massive structures everywhere in the U.S. I mean, I guess some of them may be warehouses, but you're seeing every time I travel somewhere, I see these huge infrastructure projects going on that, they just look like massive, multiple football field long buildings. I mean, are those data centers or are those warehouses or both, or are there, are they nodes? I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. They're less being nodes. The move is these massive, gigantic data centers, and the real problem is I was working on building one in Wyoming with tons of solar and power, and the issue is that it is basically where you can find power, right? These things, I think you saw Microsoft was buying old nuclear facilities to try
Yeah.
and build data centers because the demand for the power out of these is absolutely massive. So yeah, I mean, they're building at a rate that is amazing.
So Catherine Austin Fitts was interviewed by Tucker the other day, and she was talking about breakthrough energy. Are you familiar with all that? Brilliant light power and some of these others. Do you have any knowledge of that? I mean, I know I
Yeah, I
didn't.
mean, I'm looking at a bunch of the fusion reactors. There are actual proven fusion reactors being built right now, early stages. When will free unlimited energy be available?
Mhm.
It's a lot sooner than you think. But then how do you scale that up? But the real demand is nuclear.
Yeah,
We talked about it. Clean, energy reliable, and the nuclear of today is very different than the nuclear of the past. And that's what's going to power the next level of AI. That clip with China and other nations trying to, it really is a race between US and China,
yeah,
especially in quantum computing and AI. But China is building, tons. I don't know the exact number, but it's a lot. It's over 100 coal-fired new
yeah.
power plants. I mean, they're building the energy resources that they need for manufacturing and compute. And we need to be doing a lot more and moving faster in that capability, right? We need to be building, but then we need to be also the AI race is OpenAI announced that they pulled away from being looking at being a for-profit
Right.
organization, right? Um,
So that Musk says that. I was just looking at it. In fact, I'll read what his attorney said today, that OpenAI's announcement is a transparent dodge that fails to address the core issues. Charitable assets have been and still would be transferred for the benefit of private persons, including Altman, his investors, and Microsoft. I mean, have you dug into that story? I mean, it seems pretty nefarious what Altman's trying to do. He's kicked off the board, then he was back, and what's happening? Do you know?
Look, OpenAI is a very important company to the United States and in that
Mhm.
race, right?
Mhm.
So Sam wants to get to AGI and be the leader in AI, and he is one of the leaders right now. Lots of organizations on his heels, but you need a structure and a business structure that will allow him to continue to grow.
Mhm.
As a nonprofit with all the investments and everything else, it's not a structure that is conducive for that level of growth. So he made the announcement that they're pulling back because the state of California, Elon, I mean, there was
Yeah.
so many lawsuits going because they were originally established as a nonprofit. Um, what people don't understand is he is now shifting what was for profit to a public benefit corporation company,
Mhm.
a PBC, and it's still controlled by the nonprofit, but it's a PBC, which people don't realize. So is Warby Parker, which is a public
Mhm.
entity, right?
Mhm.
Lemonade, Coursera. There are multiple public benefit companies that were nonprofits that followed this, that have shareholders and do IPOs and sell stock. And so, the nefarious action is, I'm not going to do it one way, but I'm going to end up exactly where I needed to be anyway. So in a PBC, Sam will continue to be able to raise capital, do public offerings, and to achieve the goals that he needs. The profits of that will actually flow back to the nonprofit of OpenAI, where he said they will be focused on healthcare, medical research, scientific research, for the good of all man, right? I'm not so sure that Sam is really focused on that. I think his real focus is how much money he can make and how he can win the AGI race right now.
So that was my question. The structure, is it needed because it drives the profit incentive? I mean, do you need to incentivize people and give them stock, and you need to raise capital and all of that? Is that why it's the better structure than a nonprofit?
Yeah, I mean, to get billions in investment, I mean, building one of these data centers and buying 100,000, 300,000, a million GPUs from NVIDIA. I mean, you're talking about billions and billions of dollars, and you can't get that from a nonprofit. I mean, they've been really successful in doing so with Microsoft. But even Microsoft, I mean, they gave up their board seat in OpenAI so that there's no conflict of interest there. But their focus is, this public benefit corporation will be spun up. I suspect that there'll be an IPO in the future of that. They will raise billions of dollars and continue to be able to fund OpenAI's growth. But as that's going on, I mean, OpenAI is just one entity. Google's Gemini is Google is making amazing strides, not just in AI, but in quantum, and combining AI with quantum to take things to the next level, right?
So you were the guy that introduced me to quantum. I had always heard the term, but I didn't really understand what it was till I started digging. But can you stay for another segment, another 10 minutes or so? Okay, we'll be right back, and we'll talk quantum computing with Mr. Wright. So Brenden, I tried to read up on quantum entanglement, and essentially it's the theory that below the atomic level, these particles can communicate with each other. Am I saying that right?
Yeah. So traditional computers speak in zeros and ones, right?
Right.
Quantum computers speak in qubits, which is, a quantum bits. And what they do is that they have a phenomenon such as superpositioning, entanglement, inference. And instead of a 0 and 1, a qubit can be a 0 and 1 simultaneously. So, I mean, you really have to understand that at the level, but you're right. It's at the subatomic level. And the problem with, or the benefit of quantum computers, it's very linear in what it can solve. But a standard computer, there's a standard test of quantum computers. They'll run it against a standard, CPU, GPUs, and a mathematical equation that would take a standard supercomputer 29 billion years to solve, right? There's been quantum computers, Tianjin 504, which is in China, Google's quantum computer, have been able to solve this in 4 minutes, right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's truly amazing. So where it can play is a lot of mathematical equations like crypto, on solving, it is a very powerful compute, but it's had problems because it's error prone. So it can have errors within that, even 1 in 100,000 computations being an error, is a problem for a quantum computer. Recently, AI has been introduced into helping solve or identify potential errors. So the combination of AI solving and identifying and fixing those errors when they occur, and quantum computers have made, the industry of using and building and leveraging quantum computers exponentially better, literally just in the last 3 years, because of AI. Now, what you're seeing is chips coming out, and advancements at Microsoft and Google that allow you to really start leveraging quantum computing at an entirely different level. And I've said this before in our conversations and on that over the next 3 years, quantum computing combined with AI will change everything, right? And it's a race, and you heard in that segment, that if we don't win it and others do, could be catastrophic for the United States. We need to do everything that we can to make sure that we're winning the AI and quantum race.
So this is really like I've heard the term the God particle or whatever. I mean, this is, you're getting down to capabilities that really will open up the universe for travel, for mining, for communications, for everything.
I call it the Great Awakening, right?
Yeah.
There are so many unsolved mysteries that that are in the universe. I mean,
Mhm.
that once we start really leveraging this technology, AI and quantum, you're going to be amazed at the advancements in cold fusion and energy and communications, travel. There's a thing called the quantum network, not just the World Wide Web network, but when you say that you can have quantum entanglement and two things can be in one place at one time, we're talking about sending qubits of information across billions of miles in the universe instantaneously, not dial up speed going to the web 3.0, but a quantum network. So I mean, it's a little bit far-fetched. It's not. I mean, it will be the future. We will have it, and it's happening so much faster than people realize. um,
Yeah.
when it does, it really does change a lot of what we understand and know. We can solve so many other, um, you know, global problems. Will we solve cancer? Absolutely, right? Will we solve other medical issues with this capability? The answer is there. We just actually need the compute and the understanding. And with these reasoning models, with AI, and with the compute capabilities that we're building, I mean, think of it, a million GPUs in a data center.
Yeah.
As you add on this, once you start giving it the right questions and leveraging all of that compute and power, the world will be amazed at what happens. Now the question is, I wrote a book on AI ethics. Is
Mm.
at what point, you need to be making sure that is all being built for good. And this goes back to Sam Altman, not
Mhm.
putting the controls in place, and the board fired him because they were worried that once you start really unlocking that power, do you have the controls and the ethical guidelines and guardrails around to make sure that all of that compute and capability is used for public benefit and not nefariously. And
Well,
that'll be the challenge going
well, go
forward.
ahead. I think that all this is connected. I mean, I haven't quite figured it out, but you have all this, like, for lack of a better word, evil that has appeared in our world, mutilating children, massive forever wars, all of this stuff. It feels like we're in a big fight for control of something, I guess is what I'm saying. I mean, you could war game this out. I mean, you're talking two places at the same time. I mean, that's time travel. It's like Star Trek, beam me up, Scotty. All this stuff is like not so weird anymore because this capability could be coming online, right? And that maybe is what this whole fight is about.
It's not could be coming online. It
Yeah.
is, right. And
Yeah.
I again I call it the Great Awakening. All of that will occur in our lifetimes. I mean, I'm older, right? And but I see it in our lifetimes. And then it's what's the impact on society and how do we manage it? And
Yeah.
how do we make sure that people understand in the administration, in government, in business, what it means for employees, for society, and others, right?
Well, Elon said, I heard an interview that Tucker did with him, I guess a year ago, and he talked about, well, it's like a child. Yes, the child will grow up and get stronger than us, but we have to train it the right way while it's young. I mean, do you agree with that when it comes to AI, or is that
As a
where
father of 5 children, I try it all the time. Elon is right. I mean, I don't know how many kids he has now, but I know he's got one that is rebelling against him and gave up his last name, right, and
Yeah,
wants nothing to do with him. That's the problem, right?
yeah,
It
yeah,
will be more powerful, more capable, and smarter than any human being exponentially, right? It'll be a million times smarter than anyone on the planet. And at that point, what do we do? So yes, I mean the guardrails have to be on, um, and that's the most important thing for this is moving at a pace that is beneficial and at speed that we can actually all consume the AI.
hmm
Um, and it's available to all of us, but truly AI ethics becomes such an important part in AI
hmm
controls. If you go back 2 years or 3 years, I mean, Elon Musk was saying, shut it down. I mean,
yeah,
he's like, this could be terrible. I mean, you can, as you say, game it out. And, but that's the controls that we need to have is make sure that China, the United States, organizations, OpenAI, and others, and even small startups, DeepMind, and
hmm
others, are putting the controls around that ensures that um, you know deep fakes,
yeah.
fake news, all of it is just early
Fake,
stages of what
fake
you can
money.
see.
I mean, if you're a quantum and you can just create crypto, I mean, you know, I mean, you could just create
I,
wealth. You know,
you're exactly, and
yeah.
what happens there. I mean, look, day in and day out, I spend my time trying to understand how to leverage AI and quantum computing.
hmm
Really, AI right now, and hopefully quantum computing at a level soon. But the advantages are tremendous, um, and we'll continue to see it. Again, OpenAI's shift to a public benefit company is great. Advancements in energy and bigger data centers, it's fantastic. But really, we are on the cusp of change that nobody has ever seen before,
Or
right?
even thought about. Last question. Again, Catherine Austin Fitts was talking about $21 trillion of underground DUMBs or deep underground military bases and breakthrough energy and all this. And then Trump says, well, we have weapons that you wouldn't even believe. And I'm obviously you have clearances and can't say anything, but what it makes me think what has already been built, right? If we're just seeing this, what is already out there? I mean, do you have any insight in that in an unclassed version?
I gave up my clearances
Oh,
about
okay. So
7
did
or
I.
8 years ago. So
So did I.
I'm free and clear, but I have you know people know Site R. I built infrastructure there.
Mhm,
I have been to many places and worked in the basement of the Pentagon and at the FBI and
mhm,
intelligence community. I built the back end for Missile Defense Agency and Defense Threat Reduction Agency. Look, yeah, we have tremendous capabilities. The new $1 trillion budget that we're talking about, um, you know, when you get to that level that we're talking about, the Great Awakening and the things that will change and the race that's going on, and where China is going as well. The largest quantum computer in the world is in Tianjin, China. The AI advancements, again, I think that the dumbest thing we did was to try and stifle China in different ways, and they just went around and they're building chips and making advancements, and they're moving faster than we are, right? Because the government is funding it. That $1 trillion budget and the advancements in weapons and everything else is what I fear in life. Is that as the race goes on, winning that race of quantum computing and AI is so important that the loser in that race might try and actually do something to leverage those technologies of war and others, where I think working together and really creating AI and quantum for the next level of free energy and improving healthcare is a global initiative, not a US initiative. And we need to be focused on partnering on this, because if you game it out, the only way it works is really if we all benefit globally from it. It is a race that we want to win. And hopefully the winner has the ability to have humility and to share and to support on a global basis.
I think that's, you don't want the CCP doing that because they don't have what you just said. So I think all of this is of a piece, meaning all of this unrestricted warfare we've been seeing, the fentanyl, the drugs in the US, the vaccines, all of it, had something to do with China. I think they saw this coming and really wanted to win, and they put a plan in place to do that, to make us weaker so that they could overtake us at some point. But anyway, anything else you want to get out? Tell us about your company.
The last thing is that it's already been gamed out. Everybody understands. I think everybody's talking about tariffs and jobs, and the fact of the matter is that AI will replace lots of jobs. 30% of all the software developed at Microsoft is all AI driven now. It will replace self-driving trucks, and so the fact is that really a momentum to bring manufacturing back to the United States to ensure that there are jobs here, because I think people don't talk about it enough, but the shift of what AI will do over the next 3 to 4 years within the United States and jobs will be potentially very devastating. And the moves need to be made now to ensure that, our nation is secure, and that we can actually leverage AI and to the best of its ability. But it is interesting, especially when you see firsthand what's coming out of quantum labs and what AI next gen is really doing. I'm working on beta systems that will blow your mind, that you won't see for a year. But it's amazing. Hold on. It'll be an interesting ride.
So tell us about your company real quick. How can people follow you, learn more about what you're doing?
I am a founder of multiple companies, all AI driven, basically focused on leveraging AI to help organizations out. So AIteamwork.com is my company. And I build custom AI systems and next gen solutions for organizations to move them into an AI driven company.
Outstanding. Brenden, we'll have you back. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you. Have a great day.